arguments are around the same shit. That's just real. So when people get divorced over irreconcilable differences or some shit, you know what I'm saying? It be over the same shit that they've been arguing about. The same shit. Whether that's sex, whether that's, you know what I'm saying? Hey, baby, I feel like you trying to control this too much and all this type of shit. Like it's be the same shit revolving around the shit. It's just somebody can't turn their ego off. That's basically what it be. Somebody on one end cannot turn their ego off because women have egos too. That's just real. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like ego has no place in your marriage because that will the same thing that pushes you in your career and, you know what I'm saying, your friendships and all that is a detriment to your relationship. The same thing that makes you who you are in your relationship will make your relationship fail, bro. You got to adjust. You got to give something. Like years been going by.
All right. So, I'm going to say thoughts on that. Should there be an ego in a relationship? Y'all heard all what he was talking about? Do you think, first of all, many people on both ends, men and women, keep their ego in their relationship? That'll be the first question.
Yeah.
Do men and women have egos in relationships, marriages, and things like that?
Yeah. I don't think it stays over time. If you make up in your mind that you want this thing to work, this marriage to work, the ego has to die. And eventually it does die. But I do believe in the beginning it is like almost like a pissing contest with spouses. Like who's gonna get the last word, who's gonna make the bigger decisions. It's not always, especially if you grew up in a house with a single parent, you didn't see a balance, so you don't know that marriage requires a balance. You learn that over time. So yeah, I do believe it's ego. You ego trip. Even in Christian marriages, you ego trip. Sometimes the husband is like, well, I said we're going to church this Sunday. And the wife may be like, but I'm sick. Well, I said we're going to church this Sunday, but I'm sick. I said what I said. You said what you said. At the end of the day, somebody gonna lose. So it's best to just put them egos up.
I agree. I think people just want to have it their way. And I think a lot of people go into relationships trying to mold or change people to accommodate them or make them feel comfortable. And then that's a little bit of your ego. I do think that, individuals in relationships should make changes to make their spouse happy, but I think it should be like both collectively making changes and growing together. But I think some people, because of their ego, kind of just want to have it their way, if that makes sense. And I do believe that ego gets in the way of a lot of relationships, but I also believe men have more ego than women. I think a lot of the times it'd be the man.
I would tend to disagree on that point, that last point.
But you're a man.
But every other point, I would agree with. I think women have more of an ego because, like I think I've said before, or I've put inside of our chat, like men can give up their ego if they try. You know what I'm saying? Like the change will happen instantly in a man. You feel me? Or quickly. You know what I'm saying? If he's trying to change something for the better in the relationship. But the woman, it'll take a little time. You know what I'm saying? And it's because of her ego. She can't drop it down. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say it's more women than men. Because men would, I fucked up or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do what it takes. You know what I'm saying? A woman would be like, I fucked up and, you know what I'm saying? All right, you know what I'm saying? Well, it takes some time to, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
I think women are more softer and offer more grace and mercy in the relationship than men do. And I think it's because of men's ego. I think men come in with, I'm the man, this, and that. They have that pride. I think a prime example, I think a woman would forgive in a relationship if there was cheating. I think a woman would forgive before a man would. And that goes into play about ego. So I feel like women offer way more grace and mercy than men do because I feel like men care more about their ego. Because a woman can be shamed and people know she got cheated on or whatever, and she still stick right beside that man, whereas the man can't deal with that shame.
But that's a whole different point, bro. You bringing in somewhere else and bringing in grace and mercy and all this extra stuff. We talking about dropping the ego for your person in your relationship, bro. That's what we talking about. We're not talking about who other people know, or you know what I'm saying. They're like, we're not talking about none of that. We talking about the person in your relationship, y'all, both of y'all, who is more willing to drop the ego, bro, between both of y'all, bro. And I think it's on the men.
And I said, I think it's women, because I think men have a bigger ego in the relationship. And then I gave my examples of why I think a man has a bigger ego.
Your examples was
examples that you didn't like.
From outside appearances.
You didn't like?
What? No, not examples I didn't like. I'm saying they were from outside appearances. I'm talking about from inside the relationship. No outside looking in.
Saying in general that men care more about their ego, and this is shown from the simple fact that I feel like women offer more grace and mercy in a relationship. It is shown through the fact that women can stick beside a guy who cheated on her. It is shown. So that those were the examples of me showing you of why I feel like men have bigger egos, and it's harder for men to put their ego to the side for the relationship.
I still think that's a different question, but I'm gonna let it ride.
You're muted, Sandra.
I think men naturally are very prideful individuals. Very. Women are naturally humble, unless there's something in her that makes her feel like she's conceited or boastful. But a woman is naturally a humble human being. So with a man, ego and pride goes hand in hand. So that's why I believe it's a little bit more difficult for you guys to just surrender your ego. But for a woman, if a woman fights to keep her ego, I believe it's because they have the conception that I have given up so much already. I give up my last name. I give up my body. I give up my thoughts. I give up my wants, my desires. I put everybody on the back burner so that
on topic.
Huh?
I said you on topic.
I give
like mine relates to
it did relate, Shirley. I understood what you meant. I did understand what you meant. I feel like a woman feel like I give up so much that this the last thing I have is my ego, my pride. This is the last thing I can own of mine. That doesn't belong to you, that doesn't belong to kids, that doesn't belong to my job. So let me win sometimes. But I just think a really prideful man, I feel like a lot of times a woman is not going to tell you that their husband is winning the ego trip. They're not going to tell you that because it goes back to what Shirley says. They have a lot of grace and mercy. So if I let you in on the fact that my husband is really, he runs the house, then, you might beat him up. And I just don't really want nobody to beat him up verbally. So I kind of keep that down. But for the most part, most men do fight, Cliff. Y'all fight very hard to keep y'all ego.
So in let's say a case of a man is in a relationship with his wife or whatever. Do you ever think, okay, even if they're in some kind of disagreements, arguments, who you think is apologizing first or more likely to apologize, even if they're right or wrong, man or the woman?
Woman.
I said man.
Now I know you lying, bro. Now I know you lying, bro.
I think man, because
that's what the point I was trying to make. Men, you feel me, dog? Even if we're right or wrong, we're gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck it. My bad. You know what I'm saying?
Sincere or unsincere, sure.
They will drop their ego.
Yep.
And be like, you know what? My bad. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth it doing this. You know what I'm saying? Because I see long term or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But women, that's what I was talking about. The ego. You talking about some outside perception. I was talking about inside the house, bro. Y'all having a disagreement. Who is going to apologize, even if they're not wrong? It's going to be the man, even if he's not wrong. The woman, if she's wrong, she's right anyways. And if she's right, she's going to rub that shit in. She's going to let you feel it, bro.
It's just to keep the peace because of the happy wife, happy life thing.
Nah, it's not existent, bro. It's not existent.
I know. I'm just saying men do that just to keep the peace. And also because they want to have sex. And they know,
ding, ding, ding.
They know if she's still upset, they're not going to be able to have sex. So let me just suck it up and say sorry.
But what I'm saying is, wouldn't that be a thing of the woman's ego that if she is listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. If she is wrong and I am right, I have to freaking apologize.
Whoever it is.
Hold on. I have to apologize. You know what I'm saying? And then she, you know what I'm saying? If I don't, because of her ego, she will withhold sex or might withhold sex. There's a threat of that.
She's not doing it because of her ego. She's with her, Lord Jesus.
Because of the ego.
That's what we're ringing it.
My dog in the VIP section at KOD. And
I'm not at the VIP section at KOD, but I'm here. So whatever.
Lord.
Botchery on the Lord's Day, Prince.
He can't even hear. He got to put the phone up to his ear.
There's no debauchery. I'm at a bar and we're eating food, and I was with Pierre, and I forgot today was Sunday, and it was time for the podcast. So I looked at it, I'm like, oh, shoot, I want to be here. So I locked in. I walked to the back.
You're in New Orleans?
I'm sitting down. I'm here.
You're in New Orleans?
No. Pierre came down here for so one of our friends. It was her 30th, so there's a birthday party for her.
What y'all doing hanging out with?
See it.
I'm gonna run it and let it.
I'm focused on the kids. I'm focused on progressing us. And a lot of times those men will get neglected. When that man tries to bring it up, she'll get defensive, start pointing out what he's not doing, get defensive, start crying. Shit like that, trying to guilt trip him into stopping arguing. And as a man, like most men, because we just don't like arguing. So you're going to say, no, man, I ain't that. All right, man. All right, you got it. And especially arguing to the point of you crying. But it's like, damn, like, why is it so hard to just take the criticism, implement it, and make the change? Because men have to do that with y'all. And when y'all talking about, oh, I need you to be romantic, or oh, why you don't take me out in public, or why you don't do this, or why you don't do that, men got to make immediate change. Ain't no shit like, hey, baby, I'm working on it. Give me 2 years to come around to where I'm trying to get to. Men don't get that grace.
Absolutely not.
This change right now.
Right.
But when it's the other way around, and we ask, I'm focused on.
So that kind of played into right exactly what I was talking or what I was saying, bro.
I told you that's Cliff's favorite person.
Nah, it's just the nigga be spitting some real shit, dog. So thoughts on that, bro?
I'm gonna share the same thing I said in a group chat. I'm gonna read it verbatimly.
That's why I put it up. I was like, oh no, she has some smoke for this.
I'm gonna share verbatimly, and then I'm gonna give a testimony to it.
Okay.
Not to disagree. I believe an immature woman will guilt trip a man. A mature woman will give grace even when it may hurt us. A woman in love is strong but weak for her man. So the young man I dated in college, everybody knows this young man I dated in college. Whenever he would do something I didn't like, I would purposely, and I mean I would boo-hoo cry. And I think he knew eventually she finna cry. She's gonna find a way to cry, find a way to hit me, find a way to get mad at me to make me change. He would change temporarily, but then I would have to cry again next month on the same thing to get a change. But now that I'm older and I'm a little wiser, I don't cry with my husband to get a change. I get silent. And I don't get silent and be like, oh, I'm not having sex with you. I'm going to have sex because I'm attracted. I want to have sex with you. I'm going to have sex with you. I'm not going to withhold it. But when I get silent, the difference is I just know now that the Lord is going to touch him. And when the Lord deal with you, it's way worse than me dealing with you. So a lot of times he'll come back a month or two later and be like, you know what, babe? I was wrong for the way I approached you, the way I talked about the way I dealt with you. I was wrong. So I want to apologize. It's not for me doing the crying that I did in college or the getting mad like I did in college. It was just me saying, you know what? Right now, I heard somebody say once before, if you guys are arguing, the best thing to do is to leave it alone in that moment. Don't try to find a resolve in that moment because you won't find it. But allow everything to cool down, and eventually you can talk about it again. If you can't talk about it again, you got to wait another time. But when I was immature, I sure did cry, and I sure did want him to change in that moment. If I could go talk to his mama about it, I'll talk to his mom about it. But now that I'm older, I'm not doing all of that. I'm not doing it. You got to see that you wronged me, and I don't see me crying is going to show you that you wronged me.
But Cassandra, I think you're missing the point here. I think the point of the thing, the point of the thing was that when somebody is wrong, men normally have to make the adjustment immediately, and for women,
it's the woman who got time to change
or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You can just keep kicking the ball down the field. That's the point.
But that's what I said. I don't think. I think an immature woman is going to want you to change immediately. A mature woman is going to know these things take time, so I'm not going to bicker with you over it. You will apologize for your wrong. You will. But an immature woman needs you to change right now, because if you change right now to me in this moment, that means something drastically changed. The more mature you get, you realize even if he apologizes, there's a very high chance he's going to do it again. So I need to give it a season or a period or a time for this thing to get through. And I that same grace.
I agree with Cassandra about the maturity level of a woman, depending on if that statement sticks to that person. So I think the difference is when you are like younger or an immature woman, you associate that change that man is making with how much he loves you.
Yep.
If he changes this about himself, then that means he loves me. If he's not changing right away, that means I'm not that important to him and I'm not a priority for him or whatever. So I think that's the mentality of a lot of young women, and that's why they want that immediate change. But I think when you get a little bit more mature, and an older woman will realize that man has to change for himself, not for me. Once he changes for himself and he's good with himself, then he can show up 100% for me. So, and I know for him to change for himself, that's going to take time, because it's, you're changing a personality or something that somebody's been for such a long time. So that's going to take more time. But I just think it's the mentally, where is the woman at, depending on, because I could say when I was younger, I associated with, if that man makes a change, then that means he takes me seriously, he cares about me. And if he's not making a change right now, then fuck him.
So what you're saying is that the way women do it is the right way, then. Them taking forever to make the change is the right way, is what you say.
Everything we do is the right way. Let's just staple that there.
No, let's not say that. No, we can't say that.
That's not what I said. That's what you got out of everything I said.
Because the point is, if I can reiterate the point and try to keep us on track, the point is,
I was on track.
Niggas make the change immediately, and women take a while to make the change if a man is asking her to. So I said, okay, y'all stance is that the way women do it, taking the time to change, is the right way.
No, what I'm saying is it depends on the woman. I was just focused on men making the change right away and not having enough time, like men having immediate action. That's what I was focused on. So I didn't even think about the women part. But I agree that men do have to like make a change right away, because women are more nagging. Women are going to be in your ear, where a man is going to just brush it off and be like, whatever.
Now we get on topic.
I was on topic. I was
not on topic, man. No, man literally said something about, hey, you know what I'm saying? Men have to make the change in the relationship quicker. And if we don't, we're going to get like nagged in our ear, like you said. And then women can take the time. And y'all going off when I was younger, you feel me? What niggas was talking about when you was younger, man? Like,
I believe right now. Question, Shirley.
I feel like the women that do require men to make immediate change, I feel like they do that because they associate the change with how much that person loves them. Is it right? No, I don't think so. And I agree that women do that more often than men. I don't think men ask women to make immediate changes. I actually don't even think men really ask women to change much about themselves at all, to be honest. I think men just kind of ride with the flow, or I could deal with this, but if I can't deal with it, then I just go find another girl type thing. So I don't think men really ask women to make changes.
I would agree with you, Shorty, but at the same time, I would say that I agree with you, but it's not about the fact that, if we don't agree with this, we're going to find another girl. What happens is, yes, can it happen that we find another girl? Yes, it will happen. It probably will happen. But sometimes we're so subtle with our statements. We be like, babe, I don't like this. Babe, I don't like this. Babe, I don't like this. You never listen to me. So now you don't listen to me. And now you go do some shit. And you're like, whoa, why the fuck you never talk to me? What? Baby, I've been told you. It's the same, to me, that's why I say the same sentiments where it's like, I get sometimes we'll be like, well, we're not good. But then when we are good, if we are good, because once again, one thing I had to learn was I had to understand what good is. Because just because we're good, just because we're like, ha, we, he, and we're not arguing, doesn't mean we're good. I have to be mentally stable with you, and you have to be mentally stable with me. That's when we're good. Because we, like, for example, my bad, I'm deviating a little bit, just a little bit. One person told me.
Topic. Stay on topic.
You're right. I'm not trying, but it falls back to the topic. But I am going to deviate.
The judge will let it ride.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm deviating a little bit, but it still falls into the topic. So one person told me, was like, yo, I talked to this dude, and it was like, well, I told him I didn't like him before, but now I like him now. And the fact I like him now, he should be able to read my mind. So my argument to her was, when did you allow him the space to be in your mind for him to actually know how your mind works? So now you want him to read your mind just because you're ready, but you never give him the opportunity and the space to actually be in you or to know you to read your mind. So now you expect something that you never gave him. And then now he don't meet your expectations, and now you're gonna do what you gonna do? You're gonna be pissed off, you're gonna be mad as fuck, you're gonna be this, that, and the third, because he did something that you never gave him an opportunity to do. So going back to the topic, I agree with you saying, Shirley. I trust me, I full-hearted agree with you saying. And Shirley, I'm not gonna lie to you, I always agree with you saying. Because you one person you're not looking at it one way. You're not looking at it, okay, because I'm a woman, this means this. You're looking at, well, there is different perspectives. And I love the fact that you always have a different perspective. And okay, never mind. I'm deviating now, and I'm going to another. Never mind. I'm gonna stop.
I just want to let you know, Chris. I just want to let you know, Shirley originally agreed with me, so that means you agree with me. So I know you don't like giving me credit, my love, but you originally agreed with me. Okay.
Cassandra?
So the original point.
I always agree with Cassandra. You talk out your ass sometimes, but sometimes you do say good shit though. I'm not gonna lie. I always say you don't say nothing good, but sometimes you talk out your ass. But
I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? The original point is, why does it take so long for women to make the change? And if y'all saying what y'all saying, then y'all agree with the route that women take. The longer route is the best route because, you feel me, it's the more change that's going to be last longer. That's right. What I'm getting from
yes, but I think women need to offer that grace and mercy to men as well. Because we expect it from the man.
Now we're there.
Yeah, so we expect it from the man. So I think we should offer the same grace and mercy to men as well.
So my question is, why don't we do that though? Like, for example, why don't a woman give the
I just said because when women ask for they associate the change that a man makes with how much they love them. So if I tell you that I don't like this about what you're doing and you don't make an immediate change, then I inherently think, oh, you don't care about me. You don't give a fuck. Because if you cared about me, you would have made a change right away and you would have made this a priority to change.
Gotcha. Okay. I should say, yeah, you're right.
That's Cassandra, you said that would take a mature woman, right?
Yeah, because an immature woman is going to stick where Shirley just said. Your mindset is just going to be stuck on love. A mature woman is going to realize you love me regardless. It's just you need to figure this thing out on your own.
Without how many mature women you think is?
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
How many mature women you think is in? I guess that up to that level to where they thinking like that.
10%.
I
have to agree with Shirley because I don't think age makes you mature. I think experience makes you mature. So
my bad question. Shirley, when you say 10%, you're saying 10% out of 100% women, it's only 10% that's thinking that way?
Yeah.
I think it's
okay. Yeah, bet. I agree with you.
I think it's higher than that.
I would say,
so.
I would say 10% of our generation, because we can't speak as to another generation. We can only speak to people who think like us or have the same experiences as us. But I do agree with Shirley. It's when it comes to millennial women, a lot of them base how they treat their man off of what the latest trend is or how they feel like it should be treated, not really on the wisdom that we may have learned from an older generation or something. It's only 10% of us that look at it and be like, you know what? This nigga really didn't understand what I said. He really didn't get what I said. I said it 20 times, 20 different ways, and he still has not heard me. So I
like y'all on the show, man. I try to get y'all back on topic every damn time, man. Try to get y'all on topic.
I'm muting myself for the rest of the conversation.
No, you was on topic, Cassandra. You was on topic.
No, I'm playing, bro.
But no, I don't think a lot of people think like that. I think it takes a lot of self-awareness and maturity to get to that level. And then, like Cassandra said, experience. It's not even age, it's experience, honestly. And then it's also just your surroundings, like who is feeding into you. Like you got to be real intentional about who you get advice from, what other relationships you're looking at, or what examples you see as far as relationships and how they move. Like you got to be really intentional about like what spirits you let around you, because that all plays a part. Right. So I think less than 10%.
I agree.
I agree with what you said, because